A stone town in Zanzibar. Here stands the oldest magnificent Church of Christ, an Anglican cathedral, where the slave market was 107 years ago. This church was built in memory of over 6 million slaves believed to have died here after being tortured. It was built by Bishop Edward Steer in 1873 in their memory.
In this church, although the Arab came here, there was no church. There was only household houses, big tree in the middle, and that big tree is called the Mkunazi.
At the time of my stay in Stone Town, Zanzibar, I took off time to join other faithful in a service led by Bishop Michael Hafidi. 54-year-old Christopher Faraji is a grandson to slaves who survived being auctioned off by the Arabs. Faraji tells me Christianity started here in East Africa even before it spread to Uganda and other parts of the region. However, there are few Christians in Zanzibar.
When the Arab came here, they came from three things: to continue the slave trade business, trading, and to spread Islamic religion. Portuguese were here for 200 years. They were Christians, but they didn't spread Christianity.
Out of the estimated 1.5 million people on both Unguja Island and Pemba that form Zanzibar, only 70% are Christians, 3% are Hindu, while 90% are Muslims. This organ is still functional since it was installed over 100 years ago.
The pipe organ was built in England in 1880 by the Willis family. Up to now, the machine functions very nice. They say there are only two oldest British pipe organs which are still working all Africa.
This cross was made from a wood of the tree that grows on the place where Dr. Livingstone's heart was buried. Livingstone was an anti-slavery crusader who brought an end to slave trade.
When he came to Zanzibar, Livingstone met this business going on here. He was surprised and disappointed.
Christopher Faraji leads me to the cells where slaves were held. 75
female slaves with the kids. The other side, 50 male slaves.
This particular chamber is where female slaves were being locked before they could be taken to the market. In the few minutes I've been here, I am already sweating. You can imagine how 75 people with their children could be locked in this place without any food, water, or any sanitary facilities.
That was the original size of the window. No food, no water to drink, no toilet, nothing.
This is one of the tourist sites among many others that the Zanzibar government has preserved to boost tourism in Zanzibar. Though the practice seems to have been abolished, millions of East Africans are still being persuaded to go and work in the Middle East, who in turn end up in slavery.
The male slaves were being castrated because they didn't want the blackness. So they were castrating the male slaves, lining up with the female.
Human trafficking is a serious crime and grave violation of human rights.
The East African Legislative Assembly has passed a law that is aimed at curbing this emerging trend of slavery.
I learned from one of our ambassadors. They received some girls who had been trafficked. They ran to the embassy, they needed help, but the embassy was not able to give them the help they needed.
It is mostly for sex and body parts.
4 months ago, people taken from Ethiopia, nearly to cross Tanzania-Malawi border, they were caught. When they opened the container, people are dying.
It is estimated that about 21 to 36 million people are in modern slavery all over the world.
The capital offense of trafficking in persons is punishable by 5 years, and in others we have 30 years. So we're trying to find a middle ground.
Definitely big money may be involved in this regard, and it could be a motivation or an attraction.
Today we declare for all those who have ears to listen or can hear the communication in other forms that we are going to criminalize those who think this is a form of entrepreneurship.
Zanzibar also has one of the best tourist beaches and hotels in the region. at Sea Cliff Resort are some of the beautiful sceneries of the sea that attracts hundreds to enjoy Zanzibari food and culture. Jingo Francis, NTV in Zanzibar.